The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for Wednesday, November 19th, reveal that Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, will plot revenge while Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, gets disturbing news. Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will also connect with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, so some surprises are in store on Wednesday's YNR episode. For starters, Claire will have a conversation with Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, that involves a lesson on the past. Nikki will reflect on some history and give Claire updates, so we'll see if this is about the Newman-Abbott feud or leaked secrets regarding Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth. Either way, Claire should be pretty troubled over what she learns. Nikki's info could provide a bit of a distraction from Claire's own feud with Audra, but Audra certainly won't forget about it on Wednesday's show. In fact, it looks like Audra will be busy plotting revenge now that Claire's made threats against her. Of course, Audra will have to be careful since Claire knows at least part of the story of what happened in Los Angeles. The goal will be to neutralize Claire and make sure the rest of the story doesn't come out, but Audra won't mind getting a little payback in the process. Over with Lily, she'll be hurt after spotting Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, coming downstairs at the GCAC together. Lily may take some jabs at Kane after correctly assuming that he's been getting passionate with Phyllis in her suite. However, Lily won't have all the facts since Kane's real motive was apparently to get Phyllis's guard down. Kane wanted to search for proof that Phyllis was the AI program thief by breaking into her laptop, but he came up empty. Regardless, Kane still took Phyllis to bed and will have to live with what that means for his attempt to reunite with Lily. It turns out Lily will find a commiserating partner on Wednesday's episode, so look for her to form a connection with Holden. Holden and Lily may bond over drinks as well as the loss of Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, and their latest romantic setbacks. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily and Holden will be intrigued by each other, so stay tuned to see if they might sizzle next. Of all the places to plot a corporate coup, the Grand Phoenix's rooftop bar, with its glittering view of Genoa City sprawled below, felt appropriately theatrical for Audra Charles. She sat, a vision of calculated elegance in a crimson-sheath dress, swirling a glass of Pinot Noir as if it were the blood of her enemies. Her phone, face up on the table, finally lit up with the name she'd been waiting for, Kyle Abbott. "I was beginning to think you'd gotten lost in the hallowed and undoubtedly beige halls of Dabo," she purred into the receiver, not bothering with a hello. "It's not exactly a straight path, Audra." Kyle's voice was tight, strained. "Especially when you're trying to dodge my father and the corporate espionage he thinks I'm capable of." "But you are capable of it, Kyle. That's what makes this so delicious." She took a slow sip of wine. "So, tell me, did you get it?" A pause on the other end, heavy with the weight of betrayal. "I got it. The preliminary mock-ups and the marketing strategy for the entire Nouveau line. It's all here." A slow, victorious smile spread across Audra's lips. It was a smile that didn't reach her cold, determined eyes. "Excellent. Send it to the secure server. I have a meeting with Alan Laurent in an hour. This, my dear Kyle, is the key that will unlock the door to our own empire. Jabot won't know what hit them." "Audra, are you sure about this? My family is currently treating you like a traitor who might stab them in the back," she interrupted, her voice sharpening to a point. "Why not become the visionary who had the foresight to build something better? You can't be exiled from a kingdom you're destined to rule. This isn't a betrayal, Kyle. It's an evolution." She ended the call before he could voice another doubt, placing the phone down with the finality of a chess master moving a queen into checkmate. Kyle's conscience was a pesky, unpredictable variable, but his ambition was a lever she knew how to pull. Her revenge against Billy Abbott for casting her aside, and against the entire Jabot structure that had underestimated her, was now in motion. It was no longer a fantasy. It was a business plan, and the first document had just been uploaded. Across town, in a brightly lit office at Chancellor Winters, the air was thick with a different kind of tension, the kind forged in family and fractured by past mistakes. Lily Winters stared at the financial projections on her monitor, but the numbers blurred into a meaningless haze. Her confrontation with Billy had left a sour taste in her mouth, and Daniel's cautious support felt more like a palliative than a solution. She felt untethered, adrift in a sea of corporate politics and personal disillusionment. Her fingers, almost of their own volition, strayed from her keyboard and pulled up a search bar. She typed a name she hadn't dared to look up in years: Holden Abbott. The screen filled with images of a ranch in Kansas. It was him, older, his hair more silver than gold, but with the same calm, steady gaze that had once been her anchor in the storm of her youth. There were pictures of him with a woman who was unmistakably his wife, Molly, and their children. He looked happy, grounded, everything she felt she was not. Before she could talk herself out of it, driven by a longing for a time when life and love felt less complicated, she found a public email address for the ranch. Her message was simple, unadorned by corporate speak. Holden, you probably never expected to hear from me. It's Lily. I was thinking about the past today, about the clarity we seemed to have back then. I hope life on the ranch is treating you and your family well. Sometimes, this city feels like it's spinning too fast. Hope you're well. Lily. She hit send before the weight of her own sentimentality could make her delete it. It was a shot in the dark, a message in a bottle tossed into a vast digital ocean. She didn't expect a reply, and certainly not an immediate one. But the simple act of connecting her present turmoil to a memory of past stability was a small, quiet comfort. She nearly jumped out of her skin when her phone chimed not 10 minutes later. It wasn't an email. It was a direct message on a professional networking site she rarely used. Lily. Got your email. Molly showed me how to use this thing. Sorry to hear the city's got you in its whirlwind. The prairie winds blow pretty fierce out here too, but you can always see the storm coming from miles away. Clearer that way. Good to hear from you. Holden. Lily's breath caught in her throat. A genuine, warm smile, the first in days, touched her lips. His words were like a balm. He wasn't offering solutions or prying for details. He was just there. A connection to a part of herself she had almost forgotten. In that moment, the chaotic noise of Genoa City seemed to recede just a little. That same noise was a deafening roar in Claire Grace's ears as she sat perfectly still on the elegant sofa in the Chancellor Mansion. The opulent room, once a symbol of a fairy tale rescue, now felt like a gilded cage. Victoria Newman, poised and impeccably dressed, sat opposite her, having requested a private chat. I know this has been a period of immense adjustment for you, Claire, Victoria began, her tone a masterful blend of warmth and businesslike efficiency. And both Cole. Thank you, Victoria, Claire said, her voice small. She nervously tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. I don't know where I'd be without you both. That's precisely what I wanted to discuss. Victoria leaned forward slightly, her gaze intent. Your place. Your future. We've spoken at length, Cole and I, and we feel that while you've done remarkably well, Genoa City, this environment, is still fraught with triggers and painful memories. Claire's blood ran cold. What are you saying? We've found an excellent facility in Switzerland, Victoria said, her voice softening with a practiced sympathy that didn't quite reach her eyes. It's a private clinic, more like a retreat, really, specializing in trauma recovery and reintegration. The program is world-class. We believe a complete change of scenery, away from the constant reminders of your past and the complicated dynamics of this family, would be the healthiest path forward for you. The words hit Claire like a physical blow. Switzerland. They were sending her away, packing her off to a clinic on another continent. The fragile sense of belonging she had desperately clung to shattered into a million pieces. This wasn't a suggestion. It was a decree, delivered with the cool, unassailable authority of a CEO. Away from the complications? Claire whispered, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. You mean away from the Newman family? Away from any potential embarrassment? Victoria's expression tightened almost imperceptibly. This is about your well-being, Claire. Nothing more. We've booked a flight for you for Friday. Friday. 2 days. Claire felt the walls of the beautiful room closing in on her. This was her bad news, delivered not with a shout, but with a devastating, polite finality. The family she had dreamed of for so long was handing her a one-way ticket out of their lives. An hour later, the stage was set for the final, explosive act of the day. At the Jabot offices, Billy Abbott stormed into Kyle's workspace, his face a thundercloud. "We need to talk. Now," Billy bit out, slamming the office door shut. Kyle, who had been staring at his own reflection in the dark screen of his monitor, jerked to attention. "What's going on?" "What's going on is that I just got off the phone with a very smug Alan Loron over at McCall Unlimited. He all but thanked me for the early Christmas present." Kyle's heart plummeted to his shoes. "What are you talking about?" He knew things, Kyle. Specific, proprietary details about our nouveau launch strategy. Details that only a handful of people in this company had access to. Billy's eyes bored into his son. "Care to explain how that happened?" Before Kyle could stammer out a denial, the door opened again. And there stood Audra, looking like the cat that got the canary, the cream, and the keys to the dairy. "Billy," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "I could hear you from the lobby. Is there a problem?" "You," Billy seethed, turning his fury on her. "This has your fingerprints all over it. You're behind this." Audra merely smiled, stepping fully into the room and crossing her arms. "Behind what, exactly? A successful business rival having good intelligence? That's the nature of the game, Billy. You of all people should know that. Don't you dare play dumb with me." "You used him," Billy snarled, jabbing a finger in Kyle's direction. "You manipulated my son into stealing from his own family to get back at me." Audra's smile vanished, replaced by a mask of cold, ruthless triumph. "You flatter yourself, Billy. This was never just about you. This was about a bigger prize. While you were so busy playing the reformed family man and suspecting Kyle of every sin under the sun, you failed to see the real threat. You pushed him away, and in doing so, you handed him to me on a silver platter. You did this, Billy. Your lack of faith in your own son is what made this possible." Her words hung in the air, a perfectly aimed poison arrow finding its mark. Billy looked from Audra's triumphant face to Kyle's guilt-ridden one, and the devastating truth of her statement crashed down upon him. He had been so sure Kyle was the weak link, the potential betrayer, that he had orchestrated the very betrayal he feared. As father and son stared at each other across a chasm of broken trust, the revenge Audra had so carefully planned was complete. It was more satisfying than she had ever imagined. And in the quiet of the Chancellor Mansion, Claire Grace stared out her bedroom window at the gathering dusk. The bad news had settled in her gut, cold and hard. Switzerland. A polite, permanent solution to the Newman family's problem. A single, determined thought began to form, cutting through the shock and the heartbreak. She would not go. They had brought her into this world, into this tangled family web, and she was not going to be so easily erased. If they thought Claire Grace was just going to disappear quietly, they had severely underestimated the survivor their chaos had created. The game, for her, was only just beginning. The Young and the Restless. Y&R, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, September 5th to September 16th, tease that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, will gear up for revenge on Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, while Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, quits, at least temporarily. Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will also grow closer, so let's discuss what's in store. During the week of September 5th to 9th, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will struggle to keep his vow renewal surprise under wraps. Summer Newman Abbott, Allison Lanier, will figure out Kyle is planning something special, but that's all she'll be able to pry out of him for now. Next, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, will get an honest pep talk from Jack and will receive news about her secret ally shutting down the rest of Talia Morgan's, Natalie Morales, series. Over with Victor, he'll blast Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, for going to work with Jack at Jabot. Adam's co-CEO position will bring a heated showdown with Victor over his career path. As Sally mulls over the concept of forgiveness and whether she can get there with Adam, Chloe Mitchell, Elizabeth Hendrickson, will warn her not to get sucked back in. Back with Phyllis, she'll confront Jack over a recent move. That could involve Jack's decision to hire Adam since Phyllis certainly isn't a fan of him. At Chancellor Winters, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will call Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, out for deepening his bond with Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, and push him to get his priorities straight. Afterward, Billy will track down Jack to rage at him for naming Adam his co-CEO. Jack's leadership skills will be called into question as a result. When Abby Newman Abbott Chancellor, Melissa Ordway, finds Chelsea in distress, she'll convince Chancellor Connor Floyd to come to Chelsea's rescue with some words of wisdom. Once Paxton Mishkind makes his debut as a Johnny Abbott recast, Billy may agree to keep that playdate Chelsea wanted for Johnny and Connor Newman, Judah Mackey. There'll be more bonding Chelsea and Billy moments despite Lily's objections, particularly since Chelsea won't be able to move on from that forbidden kiss. Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, and Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, will also contemplate their future, so they'll mull over their adoption hurdles and explore some solutions. Now that Tessa is a model at Marchetti, she'll have her first photo shoot. Tessa will have a hard time nailing down the vision Lauren Baldwin, Tracy E. Knight, wants, but... Next, Nikki will make a startling announcement before Victor seeks changes at Newman Enterprises. Will Nikki want to step away from the co-CEO position? Could that play a role in Victor's plan for an overhaul? Victor has already been pushing Nick to fire Sally, so he may push even harder and perhaps consider a promotion for Nick as well. After Imani Benedict, Denise Bout leads Nate astray, he'll make music festival arrangements without Devin Hamilton's, Brighton James, knowledge. When Nate is forced to pitch his idea unexpectedly on a conference call with Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will pump the brakes on it. Nate will be livid enough to tell Elena Dawson, Brittany Sarpy, that he's quitting, but he should ultimately settle down and decide he can't give up now. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will also get an enticing offer while Adam changes his mind about something. It's possible Adam will surrender his Ashlyn Locke, Robert Newman, leverage to prove he's serious about moving on from revenge. Whatever the case, fall preview spoilers hint about Adam's Jabot job causing issues and leading to more of a battle with the Newmans. Adam can't go too far off the rails if he expects to win Sally's forgiveness, which he'll hold out hope for. Although Adam may get that forgiveness during the week of September 12th to 16th, that doesn't mean Sally can forget the pain she's endured. Adam may realize it won't be so easy to undo his past mistakes. Y&R spoilers say Sally will find herself growing closer to Nick, who'll drop his guard with her and potentially set the stage for a romance at some point. Back with Imani, she'll rile Nate up all over again and create more Devin conflict. Imani will feel like Nate's ideas aren't being valued, but Elena will think she's just telling Nate what he wants to hear and causing family friction. Finally, Victor will put Jack on full blast for pulling Adam into enemy territory. Adam's co-CEO job may lead to Victor declaring war on Jabot, so Jack had better be ready. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some serious hostility, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers tease that Tara Locke, Elizabeth Liner, may face a shocking death. The show's hinting at a fatal outcome and suggesting that this schemer may pay a horrible price for sinking so low. Let's consider the clues and see how they could offer a prediction about Tara's demise. In the Tuesday, June 22nd episode, Tara asks Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, about the old custody battle over Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, and learns how Diane Jenkins, Maura West, used her son to her advantage. Jack talks about being in such an ugly place with Diane at the time of her death, so Tara responds by playing innocent and noting that Diane paid a high price for her mistakes. This could be Y&R's way of setting up Tara's death as well. Tara is also manipulating the situation using her son, so she's behaving just like Diane. Tara is threatening to take Harrison Locke, Kellen Enriquez, away from Kyle if Summer Newman, Hunter King, doesn't dump her fiancé and move to Italy, so she's resorting to dirty tricks that could come back to bite her. Will Tara pay a high price for her mistakes as well? Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, killed Diane in self-defense once things spiraled out of control, so Tara could become a corpse by the end of her arc. Since Ashlyn Locke, Richard Berge, is dying of small cell lung carcinoma, that'll leave Kyle as the only father left in Harrison's life. The show may want to push Tara out of the picture as well and leave Summer to step up as a mother figure to Harrison. If Tara dies along with Ashland, that'd set Kyle and Summer up as the only parents Harrison will know moving forward. Let's face it, Tara doesn't feel like a character with staying power. It seems like Tara's around to create some temporary drama and ultimately go down for it, so we have to consider how things will turn out for her. It's possible Tara will disappear like she's threatened to. There's also a chance Tara will resort to criminal behavior and land in prison. However, there'll probably be no need to keep Tara alive at the end of her run. The Young and the Restless might just kill Tara off to make this as dramatic as possible and pave the way for Summer to be the only mom Harrison grows up with. We'll bring updates as other news emerges. The Young and the Restless spoilers say things aren't looking good for Tara, so stay tuned to see if her death is looming. CDL will have other hot soap spoilers, news and updates to read up on, so pop back in soon. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for the week of March 23rd to 27th tease that things will get complicated for several Genoa City residents. First, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, will do a familiar dance. They'll tiptoe around how they really feel and mask it with their usual banter. The truth is Phyllis and Nick are feeling the heat, but it's more than just steamy fun. There's a deeper reconnection going on, but the past will hold them back. Nick and Phyllis know they tend to hurt each other with every reunion. They'll be hesitant to take this beyond sizzling hookups, but Phyllis and Nick don't do casual very well. It's doubtful they'll be able to keep their walls up for long. Meanwhile, Devin Hamilton, Brighton James, and Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, will discuss something they have in common. Amanda and Devin may have a deep conversation about their foster care experiences. Since YNR seems to be laying the groundwork for Amanda to be Hillary Hamilton's Miss Hale Morgan, long-lost twin, Devin could give Amanda a nudge in the right direction. Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, already talked to Amanda about her biological family, so it'll be fresh in her mind. Between Nate and Devin, Amanda may surrender to this idea of looking into her roots. Some surprises should be waiting for Amanda soon enough. Next, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, will face a harsh reality. Once Mariah finally accepts that things are over with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, she'll brace for life without her. Of course, that'll be easier said than done. Tessa has pretty much been Mariah's whole world since they met, so Mariah will be feeling lost and alone in the week ahead. There's a good chance Mariah will decide to take that Chicago job offer at Sharon Newman's Sharon case urging. Mariah might believe it'll help her escape the memories and thoughts of what might have been. However, Tessa should be wrapping up her tour soon. You can bet Tessa will also be struggling to let go and reflecting on all the desperate pleas Mariah made. In the end, Tessa won't really know what her life's supposed to look like without Mariah in it. Just before Mariah seeks her fresh start out of town, Tessa will likely return and admit she's willing to try again in GC. Mariah wants to stick around to support Sharon anyway, so she should have double the reasons to stay. No matter how this plays out, a Taraya reunion is definitely in the works. Other Young and the Restless spoilers say Nick and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, will have a fierce face-off. It appears Billy's new position at Chancellor Media will lead to some conflict. As for Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, he'll show Victor Newman, Eric Braden, his true colors and spark a battle of his own. Victor certainly won't be happy about Adam digging into this Kansas drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will plan a top-secret trip, perhaps back to Kansas with the